Welcome everyone to this week's session of ACE Weekly. My name is Avalola and I teach persons tips and strategies that they can use in their online business or in your online business. Now, in tonight's session, we're going to be looking on 7 things you may not know that you can do in Google Docs. So notice I said may not know because these are things that you may already know. Some it may be new, some it may be refreshing your memory, some you know everything already. So it's always good to refresh your memory where needed and learn something new. So I'm going to be looking on 7 things you may not know you could do in Google Docs. I'm going to head on over to share my screen so that we can get things cracking. Now I have a document here that I'm going to be working with. Let me just open that up and see what's going on with it. All right. So here is my Google Doc. Now, the first thing that you may not know that you could do in Google Doc is that you can use the find and replace feature. Now, as it says, find and replace. Now, instead of manually going through a document and looking for a particular word or a word that you want to change to something else, there's a feature called find and replace that you can use to easily go through your Google Doc and change things around. Now, note that even though this is a one-page document, you may find that you have pages of words looking through. So to do so manually is going to take you much longer. So how do you use the find and replace feature? Now, suppose in this particular document, I want to look for the word keys. I want to see wherever keys are. So I would go to, where am I now? I go to edit and I'll go to find and replace. So here in the find section, you can type in what you want to find. So I want to find keys. Now note that it shows me one of 2. I can hold down the box with my left mouse button and drag it out of the way. Notice that it has highlighted the words I wanted to find. I can actually click on the words and maybe do something with it if I wanted to, or just know where they are. So what it does, it helps me to find a word. I don't necessarily have to replace it. I can just find it. But I have the option to replace the word I wanted to find with something else. So it's a find and replace feature. You can use it to find things as well as find and replace. And Mitzi is telling us, yes, you can use the Control plus the F to use that as the shortcut, all right? So you can use Control F to do the find and replace. So instead of going to edit, you can use that shortcut as well, all right? So that's what it looks like if you use the shortcut. But if you go the long way, you can go find and replace. So I wanted to look for the word keys. So suppose I want to replace this now with the word button, just to see what it looks like. So I'm going to put in, and then all I would do, I could replace one by one by clicking replace, or I can replace all of the occurrences at once. So replace all will change all the occurrences of the word keys, which is what I was looking for, to the word buttons. Now that looked very fast. You said, oh, why couldn't I just have gone through and done that manually? Picture that this was like a 100-page document that I wanted to find the word keys. Am I going to manually do so? How long would it take for me to do so? Very long. So you can use the find and replace feature to quickly for a document, find what you're looking for, or find and replace what you are looking for. So I'm sure a lot of you have actually used this feature. Let me know in the area. Have you used find and replace? Did you know you could do so in Google Docs? A lot of people don't realize that Google Docs allow you to do a lot of features that Microsoft Word allows you to do as well. All right. So Google Docs is a good substitute for the Microsoft Word program if you do not have it. Remember, Microsoft Word is not free. You have to pay for it unless you're using maybe the office.com where you get some of the features for free. Google Docs is a great substitute. And the great thing is you can download your document in Google Docs as a Microsoft Word document. So find and replace is one of those features that you're able to use. Now, another one that I find very fun, and if you're a transcriber, this is something that you can use. is that Google has voice typing capability. Voice typing. Now, for those who don't know where you find Google Docs or what Google Docs is all about, it's linked to Google Drive. And Google Drive, google.com/drive. When you go there, all you do, you sign in with your regular Gmail email account. Once you have one, regular Gmail email address, and you have access to these free applications: Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Sites. All these things you have access to for free, and you can do so many things. But in today's session, we're looking on Google Docs. Now, whatever you're creating in Google Docs is saved automatically to your Google Drive. So remember, you go to google.com/drive, and you can sign in with your regular Gmail email account once you have one of those. So we just looked at find and replace, and now we're going to be looking on another feature that I'm sure a lot of you know, which is voice typing. You're able to type or have something typed up by just saying it. So how do you go about doing so? So you go to tools and you have voice typing. Now you have to make sure sometimes to select your appropriate mic. Make sure your mic is selected, and here you see it say click to speak. All right, so I'm going to stop it a little and I'm going to start speaking. Welcome everyone to ACE Weekly. In today's session, I will be looking on features you did not know were available in Google Docs. So how accurate was it? Welcome to It Heard ACE Weekly. In today's session, I'll be looking on features you did not know were available in Google Docs. Now, how accurate is that? Fairly accurate. And for me to be able to type that, if I'm not a person that types fast, that did it pretty fast for me just saying it instead of having to type it, right? So let's say something else. I'm going to enter. This is going to be a great session tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so this is going to be a great session tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. So what do you think about that? So if you are a transcriber, transcriptionist, you could actually listen to whatever is being said in the audio or the video file and repeat it, and it would type up what you're saying, and then you go through and you edit accordingly. Do I have any transcribers, transcriptionists here? Have you ever used Google Typing to perform this? It's another way. You could also use it to create a document for yourself. Type a letter. Instead of you actually typing, you go through, say what you need to say, and then you're able to just go through and edit after. So let me know in the comments those persons who have used Google Typing for whatever reason. So Mita says, I've used it before, but I made sure my room was quiet and the audio played and edited. Okay, yes. So you can play the audio file and make the microphone pick it up, but sometimes the audio or video that you are playing may not be clear enough. So, and the accent may not be one that the Google Docs is able to pick up clearly. So you saying it as opposed to playing it as well can work or not work. So it all depends on the audio or the video you're working with. So yes, that's another way to do it. So you can play it and then edit accordingly, or you can say what's being heard and then edit accordingly. But it's a great way to have something typed up instead of you going through and typing it. So just imagine you're going through and you're dictating something and then you just go through and edit. It saves a whole lot of time. And the best part is that it is free. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, this is a live session that's going on. So you can put in the comments area any questions that you have, and let me know also, what do you use Google Docs for as well? So remember, if you find this video helpful, like and comment and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. All right, so find and replace, Google Voice Typing. What else are we going to look at where Google Docs is concerned? Now, I found out recently that you have some persons who you just go on the document and you just start typing. You just start typing. You don't make any adjustments to the settings or such with Google Docs. So this is something that you have to look into. When you go onto your file, you need to do what's called setting up your page properly. And you do so via page setup. How many people have ever set a margin? Do you know how to choose your paper size? These are things that you need to do when you're doing your document. For example, a margin is the imaginary space that's around your document. So you have top, left, right, and bottom margins. So some people may say, how can't I type at the top? How can't I type all the way to the edge? No, because there are margins that are automatically set, default margins that are set, that you have to change in order to get more space. So where do you find that? You go to File, Page Setup. Now, most times this is in inches. You may find some that are set up in centimeters. It's all about how your computer is set up. But you can change the margin. So here we have their top, bottom, left, and right. So let me put some text on the screen. I'm just going to put some random text that's over here. So let me just put that on the screen right here. And look here, you see the space at the top? If I was to set the margins here by going to, and by the way, it doesn't matter where your cursor is with this particular setting. So I'm going to go here and I'm setting the top, bottom, left and right to 0.5. So I'm just going in and doing 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Always type the 0, 0.5. And when I click OK, look what happens. It shifts it more up to the top and more over to the left. There's more space that's allocated because you are setting your margins, all right? So Mitty says, I haven't used that in years since the manual typewriter, but guess what? You should be setting your margins. Some people are not having enough space on the page because they assume that the page is as is. You can't make any changes to it. So yes, you can set your margins in Google Docs. And you can also select your paper size. Let me go back to page setup. So for those who did not know, the default setting or the most common paper size that's used is letter size. And we all know letter size. You've held it in your hand. I'm looking around if I have any paper. I couldn't tell when I was to paper. Anyway, I don't have any paper, but you have your letter size. And you also have one called legal size. That's the longer one. So let me show you what it looks like. So here you'll see how much space I have at the bottom of the page because I have it on legal size. Let me reduce so that you can see what it looks like. So look how long the page is. So obviously you would not change it to legal size unless the document you were preparing for a client or yourself is to be done on this size paper. So this is legal size. Let me change it back to letter, but the default, most persons use letter size. So 8.5 inches by 11 inches is a letter size measurement. So this is what you're used to. How many people have ever seen the longer size? Since Missy said she didn't see that since she was using a manual typewriter, you should definitely know the long one, because once you were a typist or you did any kind of typing, you would have been exposed to these two common paper sizes. So how many people have ever used the legal size? Back in the day, they used to call it foolscap. You ever hear that? Who has ever heard that? That's old school. If you're saying foolscap and things like that, you know that definitely you're old school. You're from the time when you used to have the manual typewriter where you had to punch really hard, have a ribbon, have the carriage return where you're check, 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 check. And then you're using like a correction fluid to correct whatever mistake. That's back in the day. That's old school. Old school. So yes, and my fingers, oh gosh, Cindy said it before I had to say it, and your fingertips would hurt. My fingers, I have really small fingers, and I used to be really small, right? And my fingers went right through the space between the keys, and I would always cut up my cuticles. My cuticles would get ripped because I'm there. Boom, chum, 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 chum. Chung, 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 chung. So it's back in when people right now say, oh, typing is so hard. I'm on a laptop. The keys, I barely touch a key and it presses, it registered, right? You have the carriage return. Yes, Veronica, the carriage return. Grr, grr, grr. Right? And if you wanted to line it up so that you could be on the correct line to make a correction. You say, you take your time now. Right? So right now, typing is a breeze for me. If you learn to do manual typing on a typewriter, where you juke. Oh my gosh. It was a workout. It was a workout. So remember when I told you last week about the whole touch typing, when we were doing about 12 things skills you should know as a transcriber? I learned to touch type on a manual typewriter. So right now using a laptop is a breeze. All right, so know how to do your paper size settings. So Mrs. says she still can't touch type. You don't need to know how to touch type to type fast. I know some 2-finger jacks that are typing 60 words per minute. So the index finger, that's their thing. Right? So their index fingers are going on overdrive. So set your margin, set your paper size, etc. These are things that you need to know how to do in Google Docs if needs be. Now, another one that I love, if you're going to be creating a document of any kind, let me bring up back the 100%. So you have your document and everything, and you want to have some consistency with your formatting. Remember, the example that I'm showing you is on a little page, 1-page document. Pretend that you're doing this on a 100-page document, all right? So I have this document right here. So what I'm going to be doing is, let's say...
Ты кого посылаешь? Ты чмо ебаное, блядь. Грязный, блядь. Шкет хуев, блядь.
Right. Serious. All right, so let me just go through that and stop the share. All right, so yes, let's get through that. All right, so what happens is that when you are going to be doing your documents of any kind, what happens is that you want to be consistent with what you're doing, all right? So you want to have some consistency with your document itself. So what we're going to be doing is looking on how we go about formatting our document so that we can have some sort of consistency, all right? So let's go back to the document itself and go through that. So here we are on the document. So we have our heading. So this was the document I had given to you, say learn typing skills. All right, so I'm gonna bold this. I want to have font size 30, and I want to make sure that it is as it should be. All right, so I want to have, I'm gonna change let's say I make it italics. All right, so I have the title like this. So what I could do is that for all my titles, if I know that all the titles I have in this document should have this format, what I'll go to is this part here that says styles. I will click this arrow right here. And for title, I want to update title to match. So what happens is that every time I have a title in this particular document, it will have this format, the italics 30 and the Arial font, all right? So let me, all right, so the same thing. All right, so. All right, so guys, we saw that this happened before. I changed some settings, I reported, and we're seeing we're having the same problem that's happening because we're live on YouTube. We're very, very live, and you have people who don't have anything to do but to disrupt something that's going on. All right, so let's person came in with another device and was able to hijack what's going on. All right, so let me just get things under control in here so that I can, no, it's not hacked. It's not hacked, Veronica. This particular, what you call it there, it's a public Zoom. right? It's not a private info, it's not private information. So I have it there in the open, and you have people who don't have anything to do. So they're coming on our session and doing whatever they want to do. So I have it where I have everything there public because I want to open it to as many people that need to come on, but I think I may just have to make it a closed invitation only session. So what I'm going to do is actually, if you're not on, so starting today, all right, so today, March 13, I'm going to change the Zoom information. I'm going to create a new link, and it's going to be an invitation only thing because this doesn't make any sense. You're going to have people coming in who don't have anything to do and just want to just wreck whatever you're doing, because you can only restrict so much. You can only restrict so much with what's being done. So go and figure. All right, so let me just put in some things. In fact, the person may definitely come back again because I removed them twice, 2 different devices, and they were back again. So I'm expecting them to come back. So what I'm going to do, because it doesn't make any sense, because they're going to come back. The fact that they came back twice, what do you think? Think they're going to come back? What do you think? Is it, do you find it distracting? Is it disrupt? Well, kind of disrupting, of course, but what do you want to do? Do you want me to continue or end? Let me know. All right, so continue. Got a couple continues. All right, so what I'm gonna do is that if you were part of the original persons that registered to be a part of this session, if you usually get reminder emails, I'm gonna send a new link and new information for you to join the session, because I'm tired of it. There's only so many restrictions that you can do. For those who are seeing this live on YouTube, if you want to be part of this ACE weekly session and get the information, you need to send me an email at info@aceitwithava.com to get the new details. So it will mean that less people will be on, but better we have less people, less serious people on that are willing to learn something than we have people jumping on not having anything to do. And as I'm sure that these are some, what do you call it there? These are not Jamaicans doing this. These are like some, those out of foreign people who have nothing to do with anything. All right. So Veronica, just email me. It's easier for you to email me than for me to keep track. All right. So as you said, yeah, but they can't join with the email that I give out because obviously I'm going to be screening the emails. So it's not everybody that sends an email will get to join. All right. So thank you, Mitzi. All right. So just that I upload. But remember, Faith, this link is everywhere. It's YouTube. It's also on Facebook, and it's in my Facebook group as well. All right. All right. So someone I subscribed to had his account taken down because someone used a photo that was against terms of service of YouTube and had to take his channel down. Oh boy, so many type of things, so many type of things, Faith. So many type of things. Once you're doing stuff on the internet, there's always a risk of stuff being done. All right, so let me just check to see what's going on. If it's a case of the person rejoining, because I heard somebody come on, 2 people come on. All right, so if you're just joining, we're having some fun over here. Whoa, we're having some people drawing all kind of drawings on the screen for those who are joining on YouTube, and for those who joined just here, I apologize for whatever you saw. Hopefully it didn't scar you for life. We just have to take back things and make joke, don't it? Bad things and make joke. All right, so yes. All right, yes. So Charmaine, you were here, you were on YouTube. I'm telling you that there's somebody that keeps on coming on this session and just doing all sorts of stuff. So I was saying that for those just joining, I'm going to be honest, I really don't even know what I'm going to do because, you know, when there's always said the terrorists have won. You know, if you change up your stuff, the terrorists have won. And we can't let these people just hijack and do whatever they want, because this information is something that's out there. I want people to be able to join and such, and that's the risk that I take with getting stuff done. So what I may do, as Faith is suggesting, is not go live on YouTube at the time. Yeah, they're trolls, they don't have anything to do. But as I said, it's gonna happen. There are so many things that you can't avoid. There's so many things you can't avoid. So Cindy is suggesting just make it private and done. So it's going to limit people the more private it is. So if you're on this mailing list, if you had registered originally to be a part of the ACE weekly session, I'm going to be changing the login info, the Zoom details and such. In fact, guys, since I have you here, I was actually going to not do it through Zoom anymore, actually. I was going to not do it through Zoom anymore. I was going to do it through StreamYard today, actually, but I just didn't have enough time to get things set up. So that, I think that's what I'll do. What that does is that I would be streaming live in 3 places. Nobody can hack what's going on. There are no login details. You just come. So the only thing that they can do, which they can do anyway, is just type whatever they want in comments. They can't hijack my screen. They can't, not hijack my screen, but they can't use the whiteboard feature. They can't do anything like that. All right. So they can't do anything like that. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me put the links here for those who are here now. So it will be at the same time. Let me just give you the information right now, since you're on, because the people who are here are definitely the dedicated people that attend live. So let me give you the information. So it's going to stream live on my Facebook page. So if you are not following that page or doing what you can to make sure that you get notifications when lives are done on that page, let me just share on my screen. See it there again? That's what's going on. That's what's up. That's what's up.
This person is so immature.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Yeah, I see it. I was just kicking him off. It's not just to kick them off, and I'm reporting them to Zoom as well. So that's why it takes a bit time when you see all of that going on. I'm reporting to the person as well. All right. So let me just give you the information so that you can find me next week. Before I continue today's session, let me just give you the information. Because I was actually going to do it today, and this confirms that that's why I'm going to have to deliver this session. Okay, so I'm going to be doing it if I even get a chance to say it. My God. You know, oh my God. All right, so, okay, so let me go over and show you what's going on. Let's do this quickly before we are interrupted again. Okay. So my Facebook page, to get notified of any lives that go on the page, you have to make sure that you, of course, like the page. So like the page, wherever the like button is. And then there's a follow area. So click these buttons right here, and you would go to the follow settings and click whatever you're following, all these things. Make sure all that's checked. Click each thing that you're notified when there's a live video, anything like that, all notifications, live video, all notifications, and then you would save all of that so that you know when I go live. All right, so you just come to the page at 6:30 and you just do a reload of the page. I am always on time, so I'm going to be here live, and well, all being well, there's no technical difficulty, and you'll see the live video going on here. That's Facebook. On my YouTube channel, same thing. I'm going to be going live on the YouTube channel as well. So you would just come to the channel, see me here. I'm actually live now. We're actually live now right here. So if you see, and you just do a reload of the page. All right, so you see that there's some delay going on with the video. I'm just checking if the other same person just joined again. Somebody don't have anything to do. Okay, it doesn't look like that. So what that will do is prevent anybody from doing anything on the screen. People can comment whatever they want. That's the least. Comments can be removed and reported and such, but what's going on here in the Zoom can't continue. So that's true. And if you're in my Ace It with Ava group, so let me just head on over there. I'm going to go live in those three places. So my Ace It with Ava group right here. So if you're in this group, it's free to join. The live is going to be in this group as well. All right. So three places, my Ace It with Ava group, my page, my Facebook page, and also YouTube. So you have three areas, depending on whichever one you want to use to see the live session of the ACE Weekly. Everybody clear on that? So if you want to continue to see it, those are the three places that you will check at 6:30 on a Sunday. This cannot work. This doesn't make any sense. All right. So, and of course, I screen people that are in the group. So that's not going to happen where the group is concerned. Not everybody that reaches out to join the group gets to join the group. All right. So, and as I said, comments can be deleted. So people can comment whatever they want to comment if they want to be disruptive. But when it comes to taking over the screen, that is another scenario. All right. So let us continue. The show must go on. So sorry for that rude interruption. So let's quickly do this before we have other persons coming on and not having anything to do. Okay. So I was letting you know that you have cases where you have a document and you want to have consistency with the formatting. So here I have my title. Anytime I have a title, let's say these are the settings. I want it to be 30 font size, bold, under italic, as well as Arial. So what I did, I made those changes to the title, then I went to styles and I went to title, and then I went to update title to match. So every time I have a new title, that's the formatting that will happen. So let's say this is another title. So I'm going to select it right here. So I wanted to have this formatting. I don't want to have to do it all again. I just go to styles, click that arrow here and go to title, and automatically it picks up that. All right. So all my titles will have the same formatting without me having to bold, italize, 30, Arial. At the click of a button, it changes. If I have subtitles, I can change the subtitles. So let's say I want my subtitles here to be 14 fonts. I want it to be bold, but I want it to be Comic Sans, and I want it to be underlined. So I can go back to the same same styles, and then I'll go to subtitle. Same thing again, update subtitle to match. So all of these are subtitles. So all I would do, I want my subtitles to be consistent with format. So I just highlight that subtitle, come here, go to subtitle, highlight, go to subtitle, highlight. So what I'm saying, instead of going to each one and doing the format again. Now, let's say there was a change to the subtitle. I don't want it to have underline anymore. All I can do is remove the underline, go back here to subtitle, and then I will update subtitle, and all my subtitles will be updated. Isn't that cool? Because instead of me going through, as I say, always pretend that you have a document with 100 pages. Are you going to go through 100 pages and do certain things? No, it saves you time by being able to set up things as you want it, set up format as you need it, and then you go through accordingly where changes need to be made. So that's how you can adjust your styles of your document. Now, if for whatever reason you wanted to keep all of those styles, meaning anytime you come into Google Docs, you want your titles to be bold, underline, 30, Arial, you want your subtitles to be Comic Sans, 14, bold, you can actually, or whatever settings you choose, you can come back to the same area here, styles, go to options and say save as my default styles. So what will happen is it will have those all of your documents. So for those who do data entries, that's something that you have used when you're doing your data entry. Have you ever used that? Change up your style or have a default style? Let me know in the chat area. If not, definitely it's a feature that you need to start using. I find it very useful to do so, especially I'm someone who I want the format to be consistent. I want to go through and just make the necessary changes. So instead of having to set up each time, and you know that time is money, it saves time when you do some of these things. So it's always good to know the shortcuts to get things done. So that's one feature that you can check out. All right, so how is it so far? How are you finding the session so far? Are these things that you knew you could do in Google Docs? As I said, when I started the session, some of you may know how to do it. Some of you, it's new. Some of you, you're just learning it for the first time. And it's something that you will implement moving forward. All right. So that's what we're doing in that respect. Okay. So Mitzi says she always did them one by one. So now you know that you can save time by choosing your appropriate style and going through and doing it accordingly. All right. That's what you can do. Now this one definitely, oh my gosh. I do say all of them save time, but this definitely saves a lot of time. Have you ever had an image that has text on it and you want to be able to get the text that's on it typed? You don't want to have to type it all over again. So did you know that Google Docs allows you to get the text that's on an image? It actually creates the text for you. Have you ever used that? If not, you're going to learn about it now. So let me head on over to my Google Drive. So on my Google Drive, I have a file stored. It's an image file. So let me look for it. So it's called Ace Weekly Test. So here is my image file. Now this file, let me open it for you. It has text on it. It's an image file. It has text on it. So I don't want to type over this text. I want to just have this text available so that I can edit it accordingly. So I want to have the text itself, not the image. Now, as I said, picture that it's a lot of text. This is a short image file, but just picture that it's a lot of text. What do? Now look at this. So what I have, as I said, I've uploaded it to my Google Drive. For those who don't know how to get Google Drive, go to google.com/drive and you can access the files there and do what you need to do. So I have uploaded it to my Google Drive and now I am going to right click and I'm going to go to open with, and I'm going to open it with Google Docs and let's see what happens. All right, so Charmaine says, what do I mean by an image file? Charmaine, an image file is an image, a picture. So it's a picture that has text on it. So this picture has text on it. It has examples, ex dot, if your highest value is wealth, stop volunteering, giving away your time and assisting people without compensation. Align instead with lucrative work, monetize your gifts and talents, hone your skills, for future financial gains, start an investment portfolio, etc. So all of this is on a picture. So another name in computer terms, we call them an image. And files on a whole can be anything, an image, video, you name it. Those are files. So image, photo, picture. So this picture has text on it. So I don't want to have to type up anything. All right, so is it like adding text? So we're not adding any text, you know. We are using an image that has text on it or a graphic that has text on it. And we don't want to type up the text. I want to use this text and edit it accordingly. I don't want to have to type it up for myself. So I'm using Google Docs, and Google Docs has a feature that will produce the text version that is on the image. All right. So we're not adding any text to the image. We are extracting the text from the image so that we can use it. All right, good. So all you do You right click on the image once you've uploaded it to your Google Drive, the image, a picture, the photo, and then I will go to open with, and I'm opening it with Google Docs, and you'll see here that Google Docs shows the image, it's open, see right here, but not only does it open it, it typed up what was on the image for me. It typed it up. It typed up what was on the image for me. All right, so that saved me having to type anything from it. It typed it up for me, easy, easy. And if you don't think that's amazing, I don't know what you're gonna find amazing, because I thought that was amazing, that it typed it up for me. So picture that you have a PNG file or a JPG file, test it out and see what it will do. Now notice it did not pick up the formatting. That's the least. We can format it. You know, the text is there, we can format it, but to have it type it up for us instead of us having to go through, that helps a lot. And why would this be beneficial? Sometimes as a data entry person, you may be getting your image, an image given to you with text on it that the client says, can you type up this document for me? I only have pictures of it. So you can test it out. I'm not saying it will work for every type of image file, but it's worth a try than having to type. So how do you remove the picture? Simple. Just click on it and delete it. It's gone. As simple as that. You just delete the image. Delete anything you don't want. So if you don't want the heading, example, select it. You don't want the caption, and you can change the font. You want it to be font, black font. You want it to be point size or font size 12, and you want it to be Calibri. As easy as that. And take off the italics. So you just format it however you want. All right, so question, can you do that within a document that you're working on right now? So what you would do is, the best thing to do is that you do it in a blank document and just move the text into the document that you're currently working on. So that's what I would suggest, in case it may disrupt the current document, because notice that we did an open with. We opened a new document with it. So it works definitely when you're doing your open with. All right, so that's a quick way to extract image from a text, text from an image when you are not wanting to type up the text that's on the image itself. That's a good way to do so. All right, so we said 7 ways. What number are we at? What number are we at? Because we're a bit delayed due to all of that action that was going on. This is a simple one. This one is very, very simple. So let me open a file that I have here. So let me go to a file here. All right, so let me open one of these files here. Okay, so I have this file here. Now look at it. 5 ways to get started with freelancing. So here is the file. Now note that, look how it looks. All right, you see how it looks? Now if I want to share this file, so I'm going to share this with the view, not edit. So I'm going to copy the link. And when I put the file here, enter. If I share this file with you, notice what it's showing? It's showing all of these. Let me show it in an incognito window so you see, because I'm the owner of the file, so it may look different. So if I share this file with you, look what you're seeing. You're seeing all of these, you know, this is the heading right here. You're seeing all kind of things, right? But suppose I want to share it in a way where all you do, you see the file itself, as in you don't see all of these, the toolbar and all of these things. You want to be able to see the file nice without having all of that. You want it to be quite clean and everything. All right, so there's a quick and easy way to do that. So you're not seeing all the toolbars, because as I say, presentation is everything, right? So let me show you how to do that. So let's go back to the area that we were at. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So as I said, here it is shared. You see the Google Docs, you see the name, you see all of these things. You don't want to see it. So what do we do? So what you do, you go back to your file, if I can find it. So let me find my file. Okay, so what I do, I'm gonna go back. I went too back, too far. So let me go back in here and open back the file. All right, so here's the file. So what I would do when I'm going to share it, I'm going to go to share, and everything is as it should be. So I'm going to copy the link. So when I'm sharing this link, look what I'm going to do now. Let me go into my incognito window. Remember what it looked like, right? So wherever I have the word edit, I'm going to remove that. Let's hope it works, guys. So you know how computers are. I'm going to replace edit with preview, and I'm going to share this link. All right, so let me press enter. You notice how it looks now? So what I did, where the word pre-edit was in the URL of the link I shared, I changed it to preview. So look, doesn't this look much better than having all of that mumbo jumbo with the file itself? Yes? So let's say you're sharing a file with a client to look at, and you don't want to have all of those things on it to be distracting. You just want them to be able to look at the file without all of those distracting elements. That's a way to do it as well with your Google Docs. You can also do this with Microsoft Google Slides as well. So anywhere you have edit in the URL that you're sharing, you just replace it with the word preview. So you're not seeing the toolbars and all those distracting things. You just want people to just see the file itself that you are sharing. So I like that. I like that it's clean. You don't have all of those things to confuse people and such. So I like to share files like that sometimes. All right, so that's why you go about sharing a file, and you're not showing the toolbar and such, all of those things that you don't want to show. And the final one that we're going to be looking on is that you can actually use Google Docs in a way that you can create a document that has links in there, and we're not seeing the raw link. What do I mean by the raw link? Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's just whip up a document right now. So I'm going to go to new Google Doc. Okay, cancel. I don't want to be in the folder. So I'm going to go to new Google Doc. Okay, so let's say I am doing a file that's going to talk about websites. That's okay. Let me just change that. Let's royalty-free websites. All right. Royalty-free image and video websites. So I'm going to do my bold and all these things. I'm only having one title, so I don't need to do the feature that I showed you a while ago. So that's a bit big, so let me do it a bit smaller. All right. So I know that you have certain websites that you can use for images. So I'm going to call this one Pixabay. Pixabay. Okay. So this, I'm going to take off my bold. So this website has royalty-free images and videos that you can use in multiple projects. All right. Now here, I want to show them where they can go to get this particular file, our website. So I'm going to open a new tab, and I know it's pixabay.com. So here it is, pixabay.com. So I'm going to copy the URL, copy, and go back to my document that I'm in, if I can find it. All right. And I'm going to paste, right click, paste. Now, two things. Notice that this is not a clickable link. They can't click on this. So one, you would select the link, and there's an action button right here that says insert link. So when I click this, Google Docs turns this into a link that I can click. So when I touch this, when I click it with my mouse button, it's going to allow me to go to this website. But that's not the only thing I'm showing you. This is a raw website link, but I want my document to be neat. Just picture, you have some websites that are like 3 lines long, right? Have you ever seen those websites like 3 lines long? What I want is for people to know that this is where they will click to go to view Pixabay. So all I can do, it doesn't matter, bear in mind, it doesn't matter where I'm typing this. I'm going to say, go here to view images and videos on, it didn't have to be this. I'm just choosing to call it this. So what I do now, the parts of the URL that I don't want to be there, I'm taking it out. I'm taking it out. So what I did is that instead of having the raw URL image, I have the image, the URL there, but I can change the text that I want to be displayed. So instead of them seeing pixabay.com, I can put what I want them to see. So here in this document, it will say the website has royalty-free images and videos that you can use in multiple projects. Here it says, go here to view pictures and videos on Pixabay. So when they click on this, it will take them straight to Pixabay without them seeing the raw URL right there. All right. So if you have, and this, by the way, this works in email as well. So if you notice when I send out for those who get the replay email, I will have links in the email itself, but I don't have the raw URL there. I can change the text of the URL. Okay, so how do you add a video in Google Docs? All right, so Mitzi, I have never actually tried to add a video itself in Google Docs, but I assume it will be the same. So let's try. So let's wrap up with that. Let me see. She asked about adding a video in Google Docs. So let me go over into a blank. So let's see what's going on here, just to make sure that we're not having. All right, so let's see. Just making sure not having the same problem. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure if the same problem is going to occur, guys. I'm watching to see. All right. Okay, so let's see if we can insert an image here in, not image, you asked about video. So let's see. Let us see. All right, so somebody asked to do it once for a transcription gig, so the video would play. Oh, the video would play along the words. I'm not sure if you can do that in Google Docs. I'm not sure if you can do that in Google Docs. So you would have to do a little bit more research on that. So, because that's more than just inserting a video into Google Docs itself. All right. So as I was saying, guys, so that is some of the ways that you can use Google Docs that you may not have been aware of. These are some things that I said that you may have known already. Some of them you didn't know, a few are new, but the ultimate thing is that these are things that you need to start doing in Google Docs to take full advantage of this free application. It's free. And who doesn't like free? We all like free to be able to do certain things and save, all right? Because the least investment you can have with a particular tool, the more profit you will make. So if you're spending to buy the tool, then you're making a loss with certain things. But once you're able to make money from a free tool, that's always beneficial. All right. So these were 7 ways. Some of them you may find that you're going to incorporate using daily for those who are data entry persons, but these are definitely things that you need to make sure that you're using. All right. So if you copied and pasted that to your website, will the link still be clickable? It depends on how you set it up. So it may or may not be, but you have to test that out. It is clickable depending on where you put it. So I know that if I copy this to an email platform, it would still be clickable, but not sure about the website. You'd have to test that out. But of course, you'd put the actual link into the website itself, and the link would then be masked with a button. Remember, with a website, you can mask the link with a button and such. So you wouldn't have to worry about changing the words and all these things, but you can change the words as well with the website link with the link using it on a website. All right, so guys, utilize these features, see how best they work for you. Some of them save time, some of them allow you to make money or move faster and such. So check it out. Just to remind you again that this is going to be the last time I'm using Zoom for this particular session. I'm going to just continue using Zoom privately like I do for other my membership sessions and such. So if you want to catch the ACE weekly session, make sure that you, as I said, I saw somebody reach out to join, but I think you joined the wrong group. It's Ace It with Ava. That's the name of the group. So let me show you again. The group is Ace It. So it's 3 ways. You can choose which one. So you can tune into me on YouTube, my Facebook page, or my Facebook group. So the Facebook page is Ace It with Ava. All right. So I'm going to send out the links in the replay so you can see it. So if you missed it here, when I send out the replay, I'll send the link. So you have the Ace It with Ava. So facebook.com/Ace It with Ava. Come to the page, like it, follow it so that you can get notified when notifications, when I go live. I showed you how to do so before. There's a button right here that allows you to have follow settings. So go through and select accordingly, post video, live video and such. And you have the Facebook group that you can join if you choose to. So here it is. It's called Ace It with Ava, Ace It with Ava, and it's a free group, so you can request to join. Or you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see there all these kind of things. So what the person doing? That they don't have any sense. You see? That's all that's going on right there. So as I said, they can make comments. All of these can be reported and deleted and such. So easy thing. But nobody can hack is the wrong word. They can't manipulate what's going on the screen because it won't be done via Zoom. All right, so you can subscribe to the channel. You just go to the subscribe button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. For those who have never subscribed to a channel, let me show you what it looks like. You'll see, let me see if I can subscribe to a random channel. You'll see a subscribe button. So you see subscribe, and then make sure this bell right here, you click all notifications. So whenever a video is posted or I go live or whatever, you'll get a notification. Once you have the YouTube app, you have to have the YouTube app. And by the way, to be able to subscribe, you need to be able to sign into YouTube. And once you have a Gmail account, you simply do so. Very, very simple. So whichever way is easier, I think for most of you, the Facebook page will be easier. So the Facebook page is there. You can like it and follow and look out. So this is the last Zoom session of ACE Weekly. From now on, it will just be live in whichever of those 3 forums you choose to join it in. Note that I'm going to be using the StreamYard app. So with that app now, it's going to ask you to enter your Facebook information so I know who is making a comment if you choose to comment during the session. All right. So thank you so much for joining me live. I apologize again for all the shenanigans and all those things that were in the session. Hopefully it did not distract you too much and you're able to learn what was presented today. I know some people, you know, you might get distracted and whatever. Remember, I'm presenting, so I was trying not to get distracted and flustered and not just talk bare foolishness. So I hope that, you know, the presentation was good enough for you to understand what was going on. All right. So thank you guys. And I wish you a great rest of the evening. All right. So I see. Okay. So you're welcome, guys. So bye. And I will see you next time live via the Facebook group, Facebook page, or live via YouTube, but not via Zoom. Okay, guys. Bye.